And so you may say Pakistan ka matlab kya? La ilaha illallah. But I want to know, why is Dajjal hiding behind that mango tree and laughing his head off? He is so happy. Why? Don't you understand, you dum-dum? You have abandoned Darul Islam. You have abandoned Khilafah. And you have embraced the modern state which was created in Europe, which declares that Allah is no longer Al-Malik. The state is now Al-Malik. That is shirk. Allah is no longer Al-Akbar. The state is now Al-Akbar. That is shirk. Allah is no longer Al-Hakam, the lawgiver. The state now makes the law. That is shirk. Why? Why? Why did Dr. Muhammad Ikbal not understand that? Why? Why? Why did Muhammad Ali Jinnah not understand that? I have a book outside. Do please read it. It's small. Iqbal and Pakistan's Moment of Truth. Dr. Iqbal is a great scholar, and I have the greatest respect for him. And when I offer a critical comment about Dr. Iqbal, it does not diminish his stature in my eyes. He still remains a great, great scholar. But the blame lies most of all on the shoulders of Dr. Iqbal for not recognizing that the modern political system and model of a state, which was coming from Europe and which Mustafa Kemal embraced in 1922, to replace the Khilafah with the secular state of Turkey, and which he, Iqbal, endorsed, and which he put into his book, The Reconstruction of Religious Thought in Islam. He said that the modern parliament of the Republican state is an adequate substitute and replacement for the Khilafah. What? Did Iqbal say that? But that's nonsense. That the modern parliament of the secular state can be an adequate replacement for the Khilafah? That's nonsense. But because Iqbal had the stature that Iqbal had, Muslim religious thought in the whole subcontinent, illa masha'Allah, went along with the bandwagon to create a modern secular state called Pakistan. You can put on a pagri on the head of Pakistan. You can make Pakistan grow its beard, and you can put Pakistan in Sunnah clothes. It's still a secular state, you dum-dum. It is still a state created on the same foundations as all the other secular states in the world, regardless of what you put in the constitution, because hypocritically nobody bothers about it. And so when Pakistan came into being, Muslim India said goodbye. Muslim India said goodbye to Islamic political theory. They said goodbye to Darul Islam. They said goodbye to Khilafah. And then a new, very strange creature came into being. Never saw him before. First time in my life I'm seeing him. Something called Muslim nationalism. Huh? Never heard of it before. You know, you have German nationalism, you have British nationalism, you have Russian nationalism, Qawmiya. But you don't want to use the word Pakistani nationalism. So you say we are creating this new state on the basis of something called Muslim nationalism. What rubbish! Never heard more rubbish than this. Nationalism is Qawmiya. Did they never read the Quran, those who talk about Muslim nationalism, which was a stepping stone to Pakistani nationalism, and then to Bangladeshi nationalism, Bangla nationalism, and then to Indian nationalism? بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الناس, O mankind, إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى, we created you from a single male and a single female. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلًا, and then we caused you to emerge as nations and tribes. Yes, Allah recognizes in the Quran the existence of nations and tribes. But then He goes on to say, لِتَعَارَفُوا, that your recognition of your diversity as nations and tribes should be a source and it should function positively, something by which you can identify yourselves, but not that Qawmiya should cause one person to consider himself superior to another. That's a disease. Allah goes on to say, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. So yes, we want you to preserve your tribal identity. We want you to preserve your identity as a nation, but not to use that as the foundation for a political system. That's wrong, because that is superiority and inferiority. And so nationalism as a political system is not a part of Islam. And that's what they did. They created Muslim nationalism. And so when Pakistan came into being, guess what happened? When Pakistan came into being, they got Punjabi nationalism on their backs. And then they got Balochi nationalism on their backs. And then they got Sindhi nationalism on their backs. And then they got Pashtun nationalism on their backs. And the people who migrated from India to Pakistan, then they got Muhajir nationalism on their backs. So Pakistan broke up into so many different nationalisms. And then you had the rivalry between nationalism on this side and Bangla nationalism on that side, leading to the birth of Bangladesh. And so, if there is a future for Islam in that part of the world, it will be a future only for those, not for the part-time Muslims, and most certainly not for the politicians. If there is a future for Islam in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Kashmir, it will be a future only for those who can make tawbah and step away from the modern secular state and step away from its shirk and its nationalism and return to the struggle for Khilafah and return to the struggle for Darul Islam. That is the debacle that occurred about 60, 70 years ago when Pakistan came into being and then Bangladesh came into being. If we are to step away from that debacle and return to Khilafah, the struggle to restore Khilafah, it will make the heart so happy to know that we don't have long to wait. My guess is probably only another 20 or 25 years. And Khilafah is coming back with Imam al-Mahdi. We don't have long to wait. Tell the politicians that for me. We don't have long to wait for Khilafah to come back. And when Darul Islam comes back, Mr. Politician, are you listening? When Darul Islam comes back, do you need a visa as a Muslim to go Pakistan? Huh? Would you need a visa to go Bangladesh? Huh? Nonsense. Not in Darul Islam. That is a system that has come from Europe. When you have Darul Islam, every Muslim has the right to enter. All that you have is La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, and you could enter that territory. That's what's coming. But if we are to win that tomorrow, not only must we step away from Qawmiyah. You know those people say, I live for Pakistan. I'll die for Pakistan. I live for Bangladesh. I'll die for Bangladesh. Invite them to live for Allah. Invite them to die for Allah. This is Islam. That is not.